and then we're building up to a terawatt of solar. So that will solve the solar problem, the power generation.
Tesla could become the first company in the world to build a massive solar panel factory capable of producing 100 gigawatts or even as much as 1,000 gigawatts of solar power capacity every year. That's enough to power an entire country and potentially reshape the global energy landscape. And Elon Musk seems to have an almost unbelievable ambition for this factory. It could be a top-secret move to transform Tesla from just an electric car company into the company that controls the world's energy flow. So, what's really behind this massive project? And can a single factory truly change the future of the world? Everyone thinks they know Tesla's next trillion-dollar business. Some say it's robotaxi. Others are betting everything on Optimus or artificial intelligence. But while all the headlines have been chasing those stories, something far bigger has been unfolding almost completely unnoticed. Just outside Houston, Texas, about 35 miles from the city, Tesla is quietly constructing what may become the largest solar manufacturing facility ever built. Not the biggest in the United States. Not even the biggest outside China. The biggest the world has ever seen. And according to Elon Musk, this factory could eventually scale to an astonishing 1,000 gigawatts of annual production capacity, a figure so enormous that many energy analysts initially dismissed it as impossible. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. This isn't another bold promise or futuristic concept. Tesla has already broken ground and construction is underway. That alone raises a much bigger question. Why is almost nobody talking about it? For years, Tesla Solar was widely viewed as one of the company's biggest disappointments. After acquiring SolarCity in 2016, Elon Musk painted a vision of Tesla leading the global clean energy revolution. New York invested nearly $1 billion in incentives to help build Tesla's massive Buffalo factory, expecting it to become the largest solar manufacturing hub in the Western Hemisphere. Instead, the plan unraveled faster than anyone expected. Panasonic eventually took over production before walking away in 2020. The Buffalo facility gradually shifted toward building supercharger components and processing autopilot data, while solar manufacturing faded into the background. Tesla's solar business declined so sharply that it nearly disappeared from the company's earnings discussions altogether. Then, near the end of 2025, something changed, and this time it looked very different. Almost without anyone noticing, Tesla made a move that completely changed the conversation. At its Buffalo facility, the company quietly began producing a brand new solar panel called the TSP420, and by early 2026 it officially entered the US market. Most people dismissed the launch as nothing more than a small attempt to revive a business that had already lost momentum years ago. But, as it turns out, the panel itself was never the real story. It was the first clue that something much larger had already been set in motion. That became clear only weeks later when Elon Musk took the stage at the World Economic Forum in Davos and revealed that Tesla and SpaceX would each build enough solar manufacturing capacity in the United States to reach 100 gigawatts of annual production, controlling the entire supply chain from raw materials all the way to finished solar panels. Unsurprisingly, the market reacted the same way it often does to Musk's biggest announcements. The target sounded so ambitious, so expensive, and so unrealistic that many investors simply assumed it would never happen. But then the evidence started to appear. CNBC reported that Tesla was negotiating to purchase nearly $2.9 billion worth of advanced solar manufacturing equipment from China, with all of it expected to be shipped to Texas. Suddenly, what had sounded like another impossible promise began to look a lot more like an actual construction project. And now we finally know where it's happening. In Brookshire, Texas, just outside Houston, Tesla has reportedly leased more than 1.65 million square feet of industrial space, with plans to expand by several 100,000 additional square feet in the near future. Even more interesting, this is the very same location where the company is building its roughly $200 million Megapack megafactory, making it increasingly clear that these aren't two separate investments at all. They're two pieces of the same long-term strategy. What Tesla is building in Brookshire isn't just another factory. It's the foundation of what could become a fully integrated energy campus, where solar panels and Megapack battery systems are manufactured side by side as part of a single operation. On the surface, that may not sound revolutionary, but it perfectly reflects how Tesla sees the future of energy. In the company's long-term strategy, solar generation and battery storage aren't separate businesses. They're two halves of the same system. Think about it. A utility-scale solar farm becomes far more valuable when it's paired with megapacks that can store electricity around the clock. A home covered in rooftop solar reaches its full potential only when it's connected to a power wall. Yeah, that's why Tesla isn't simply trying to sell more solar panels. It's building an ecosystem where every product strengthens the value of the next, giving the company control over the entire energy chain rather than just one piece of it. And that's exactly what makes this project so significant. Based on everything confirmed so far, the Brookshire facility isn't designed as a conventional solar panel assembly plant. Instead, Tesla is creating a vertically integrated manufacturing operation where nearly every major production step takes place under one roof, from pulling silicon ingots and slicing wafers to producing photovoltaic cells and assembling the finished panels. That level of vertical integration is remarkably rare in today's solar industry, where most manufacturers still depend on complex supply chains spread across multiple countries throughout Asia. In many ways, Tesla is applying the same strategy that transformed its electric vehicle business. Rather than relying on suppliers for critical components, the company wants to bring as much of the manufacturing process in-house as possible, giving it greater control over costs, production speed, quality, and long-term scalability. That's also why Houston makes so much more sense than many people realize. As one of the largest port cities in the United States, it provides the infrastructure Tesla would need to import billions of dollars worth of specialized manufacturing equipment from China, something Austin simply can't match. Beyond that, Houston offers an enormous industrial logistics network, a deep pool of skilled workers, and the space needed to expand massive manufacturing facilities far more efficiently than most locations across the country, making it an ideal launchpad for a project of this scale. But the real shock came when people started looking at the numbers. As Elon Musk stated, Tesla will eventually build 1 terawatt of solar power, and 100 gigawatts will now be the initial target for the plant. Today, Tesla's Buffalo facility is capable of producing only about 300 megawatts of solar panels each year. So with 100 gigawatts annually, that's an increase of more than 300 times, and according to Tesla's own timeline, the company hopes to reach that level in less than 3 years. To understand just how extraordinary that is, consider the current industry leader. First Solar, the largest domestic solar manufacturer in the United States, is expected to reach approximately 17.7 gigawatts of annual capacity by 2027. In all of 2023, the entire United States installed roughly 32 gigawatts of new solar capacity. Tesla is proposing that one factory alone could eventually produce more than 3 times the amount of solar panels the entire country deployed in a full year. That's not an incremental improvement. It's a scale the industry has never attempted before. So it's easy to understand why so many analysts have reacted with skepticism. Calling the plan overly ambitious would almost be an understatement. Elon Musk has built a reputation for setting targets that often sound impossible. But he has also missed some of his biggest timelines. The solar roof was once presented as the future of residential construction before largely fading from the spotlight. The 4680 battery program took years longer than expected to reach meaningful commercial production, and the Tesla Semi also arrived well behind its original schedule. That's exactly why investors aren't questioning whether Tesla can build another factory. They're questioning whether any company on Earth can scale solar manufacturing this quickly without running into the same delays that have affected so many of Tesla's most ambitious projects. But this time, there's one critical difference that sets the entire project apart from everything Tesla has attempted before. Unlike the Buffalo factory, Brookshire isn't being built around government subsidies or political incentives. No state is handing Tesla a massive check in exchange for promised jobs, and there doesn't appear to be a build it first and hope it works later strategy behind the project. Instead, Tesla is putting its own capital on the line, which changes the equation entirely. Current estimates suggest the manufacturing equipment alone could cost close to $3 billion, and that's before accounting for the clean room facilities, factory construction, utilities, and the massive infrastructure required to support an operation of this scale. By the time the campus is fully built out, the total investment could easily climb beyond $4 billion. That level of commitment also reveals something important. Tesla isn't making a relatively inexpensive bet on a new business. It's committing billions of dollars because management appears to believe the long-term opportunity is large enough to justify one of the biggest manufacturing investments in the company's history. And here's what makes the story even more compelling. Tesla doesn't actually have to achieve its headline target for this project to become a massive success. Even if the factory ultimately reaches only 20 or 30 gigawatts of annual production instead of 100, Tesla would immediately rank among the largest solar manufacturers in the United States. If it manages to scale to 50 gigawatts, the company wouldn't simply compete with today's domestic leaders. It would redefine the industry's competitive landscape on an entirely different scale. That's why the 100 gigawatt, while grabbing all the headlines, may not even be the most important part of the story. The real takeaway is that Tesla is building manufacturing capacity so large that even falling far short of its ultimate goal could still transform the US solar industry. And if that happens, we may be looking at the beginning of an entirely new chapter for solar manufacturing in America. But while most of the attention has been focused on Tesla's massive 100 gigawatt solar project in Texas, the company has quietly been making another move that could be just as important for its global strategy. This time, the focus isn't the United States, it's Europe. Tesla is reportedly preparing to expand its Gigafactory Berlin with a huge new facility planned just north of the existing site. Early reports suggest the new building could nearly double the factory's current footprint, signaling that Tesla's ambitions in Germany extend far beyond simply producing more vehicles. What's particularly interesting is that this expansion appears to be about much more than increasing output from existing assembly lines or hiring additional workers. Shortly after Tesla announced plans to significantly boost production at Giga Berlin, new information began pointing to a large-scale physical expansion of the factory itself, raising speculation that the company is preparing space for an entirely new generation of products. Earlier this year, Elon Musk hinted that the purpose-built Cybercab is the most likely next major product to be manufactured at Giga Berlin, with the Optimus humanoid robot potentially following later. If that happens, Berlin would become a critical piece of Tesla's international robo-taxi strategy. Producing Cybercab in Europe would eliminate the need to ship vehicles across the Atlantic, allowing Tesla to deploy autonomous fleets throughout major European cities as soon as regional regulators approve commercial robotaxi operations. Although the expanded facility could eventually accommodate products like the Optimus robot or even future versions of the Tesla Semi, Cybercab appears to be the most logical near-term candidate. Tesla has already begun mass production of the vehicle at Giga Texas, and establishing dedicated assembly lines in Germany would dramatically simplify logistics while accelerating the company's expansion across the European market. The size of the proposed building also suggests Tesla is thinking well beyond a single new product. The additional floor space would allow the company to integrate entirely new manufacturing lines alongside its existing vehicle production while continuing to ramp up on-site 4680 battery cell manufacturing, creating an even more vertically integrated operation. Those expansion plans align closely with Tesla's latest announcement that Giga Berlin will increase production by another 20% beginning in October while hiring approximately 1,000 additional employees. Combined with the construction of a much larger facility, the production increase and workforce expansion suggest Tesla is finally beginning the large-scale growth Elon Musk has long promised for its German Gigafactory, especially after workers recently voted against a union majority in the latest Works Council election, giving the company greater flexibility to execute its long-term manufacturing plans. So, what do you think? Could Elon Musk actually pull off one of the most ambitious manufacturing projects in history, or is the 100 gigawatt solar factory simply aiming too high? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.